Canada quietly rewrote the rules on Chinese EVs in January 2026, and most Americans have no idea it happened. The 100% tariff that used to block Chinese-built EVs from Canada is gone. In its place, a 6.1% duty, capped at 49,000 vehicles a year, rising to 70,000 by 2030. One automaker has already confirmed dealerships. A handful of others, including the company behind one of the most advanced EVs on the planet, are positioned to be next. That car is the Avatr 12, built by a joint venture between Changan, CATL, and Huawei. No Avatr dealership has been confirmed in Canada yet, and I want to be upfront about that before we go any further, because plenty of channels will tell you it's a done deal when it isn't. But the door just opened, and this is the car that shows exactly what's about to walk through it. Let's get into it. What actually changed in Canada? For most of 2025, Chinese EVs face the same wall in Canada that they still face in the United States today. A 100% tariff that made them commercially pointless to sell. Then in January 2026, Canada struck a trade deal with China. The 100% tariff was replaced with a 6.1% duty, but only within a hard annual quota, starting at 49,000 vehicles across every Chinese automaker combined, and climbing to 70,000 by 2030. In exchange, China cut its own tariffs on Canadian canola, lobster, crab, and peas. That quota matters. It means Chinese automakers aren't flooding Canada, they're rationing access to it, and every brand that wants in has to fight for a slice of a fixed number. Unlike the US, where the tariff makes Chinese EVs commercially pointless, regardless of demand, Canada's system is a controlled valve. Enough access to let a handful of brands establish real dealer networks, not enough to let the market get flooded the way it has in parts of Southeast Asia. That distinction is why this story is worth tracking closely instead of writing off as another headline about tariffs. BYD, the one that's already in BYD, didn't wait to find out who else would move first. In June 2026, BYD confirmed it's opening more than 20 dealerships across Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, and Calgary by the end of 2026, with 4 models starting at 25,000 Canadian dollars, about $17,900. The lineup includes the Auto 3, Seal, Dolphin, and Seagull. Canada's federal EV rebate program won't apply to any of it, since it's limited to vehicles built in Canada or in countries with a free trade agreement which excludes China outright. Buyers in British Columbia and Quebec may still qualify for provincial rebates depending on the model. BYD is also reportedly evaluating Canada as a site for its own manufacturing plant, which would sidestep the quota question entirely down the line. If BYD builds locally, its vehicles would count as Canadian-made, clearing the path to full federal rebates and stepping outside the 49,000 unit cap altogether, a move that would put every competitor still importing under the quota at a structural disadvantage. If a 100% tariff wall can come down this fast, you already know why this channel is tracking every Chinese automaker eyeing that quota next. Hit subscribe because the car after this one is the reason that quota matters. Avatr 12. The car that could be next. The current Avatr 12, launched April 2026, is not a budget disruptor. It's a full-size luxury sedan aimed directly at the Mercedes EQE and BMW 5 Series, and on paper it embarrasses both. The tri-motor version produces 955 horsepower, hitting 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2.71 seconds. That's supercar acceleration in a car with heated, cooled, and massaging seats in every position. A 98 kilowatt-hour CATL battery supports ultra-fast charging on an 800-volt architecture. 4 LiDAR sensors, including a new 896-line unit developed with Huawei, give the car 360-degree perception coverage for its driver assist system. The dashboard is a single 35.4-inch panoramic screen running Huawei's Harmony OS. Pricing in China spans roughly $42,600 to $62,900 across 7 configurations. For comparison, a comparably equipped Mercedes EQE easily clears $80,000, and a Porsche Taycan with similar performance starts near $100,000. Inside, every seating position gets heating, cooling, and massage, not just the front row. The rear window is gone entirely, replaced by a streaming camera feed, a design choice that sounds strange until you see how much cleaner the fastback roofline looks without it. Voice control runs through Huawei's Assistant and handles navigation, climate, and media, without the lag most cars still struggle with. None of this is vaporware or concept car promise. These are shipping configurations available to Chinese buyers right now. Here's the real reason this matters. Changan has been making vehicles since the 1950s. CATL is the world's largest battery manufacturer, and Huawei builds the software. None of those three companies needed 100 years of combustion engine history to build a car this capable. The EV transition erased that advantage for legacy brands, and Avatr is one of the clearest examples of what filled the gap. Every part of that spec sheet is real today. What's not confirmed is whether you'll be able to walk into a Canadian showroom and buy one anytime soon. Avatr's global playbook so far backs up why Canada is a plausible next stop. The brand entered the UAE in 2024 through a distribution deal with Smart Mobility International, the same group that handles Rolls-Royce and McLaren locally. It launched right-hand drive models in Thailand through Changan's Rayong manufacturing base. Changan has stated it wants Avatr and its sister brand Deepal in Europe by 2027, backed by a €2 billion investment through 2030. None of that is Canada-specific, but it shows a company systematically working through tariff-friendly markets one at a time. Exactly the pattern a 49,000 vehicle quota is built to invite. Why Avatr 12 hasn't confirmed Canada yet. No Avatr dealership network, launch date, or Canadian pricing has been announced. What exists is analyst speculation. Changan's export brands, including Avatr, Deepal, and Nevo, are seen as strong candidates for a share of that 49,000 vehicle quota, given Changan's manufacturing scale and its growing export operations across Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Chery is already building a Canadian dealer network. NIO and XPeng have signaled interest. That's 3 more names competing for the same fixed quota BYD just used a chunk of. And every month one of them delays is a month of quota room. Another brand can claim first. Avatr hasn't confirmed anything publicly, but it's operating from the same playbook. Enter Thailand and the UAE first, build export infrastructure, then move into markets as tariff barriers allow. Canada's new quota is exactly the kind of opening that playbook is built for. Subscribe now because the gap between position to enter and confirmed is exactly where this story is heading next, and the US side of it is even more restrictive. Why America still can't buy any of this. While Canada opened a narrow quota-limited door, the United States kept its wall standing. Chinese-built EVs still face a tariff exceeding 100% entering the US, a rate that makes direct sales commercially impossible. That means American buyers are watching this story from the outside twice over. Once as Canada opens access that the US hasn't matched, and again as companies like Avatr build the export playbook to walk through that opening, brand by brand, quota slot by quota slot. An Avatr 12 priced at $50,000 in China would face over $50,000 in duties alone, before freight and dealer markup entering the US, pushing a retail price well past 6 figures for a car that costs under half that everywhere else it's sold. Canada's tariff wall down to 6.1% inside a 49,000 vehicle quota. BYD confirmed 20-plus dealerships by the end of 2026. Avatr 12, 955 horsepower, $42,600 to $62,900 in China, not yet confirmed for Canada. America still locked out at over 100%. Drive safe.